Mr. Bean was in his hall doing a travel plan to visit a museum. He heard there were famous cars from the Italian job in 1969 put in display. He wanted to have a look at them, so thought Cooper told the museum would be fun to look in. But there was one thing he still remembered when his Midland was crushed into a cube, and that was the large vehicle van he knocked off the roof before. He asked, "I shall keep my distance away from you," he thought. "I don't want to have another expensive week." He finished his plan and went to his next one. He was wanting to go to Tasmania, my continent he never thought to visit. "I'll take a boat," he thought. "Oh, a boat!" He left his house disappointed, but he still looked forward to visiting the museum. He almost got into his menu when he looked up to see if there was any sign of the reliant vehicle. There wasn't any sign of it at first. "Before I go," told the museum, "I'll visit the scrapyard and stick to my car, just in case he tries to revenge me again," Mr. Bean thought again. So he told the scrapyard. He met a foreman who was in charge. "I'm just looking to see how many cars you've crushed," he said to him. "Keep your car. It doesn't look ready for scrapping," said the foreman. Little did Mr. Bean know that he was about to get a stalking surprise. Meters away from his house was the reliant vehicle van. It had been hiding behind the wall. Little did its driver know that Mr. Bean was informing the foreman that his car had been crushed into a cube and to keep an eye open for it. Mr. Bean was starting to leave the scrapyard when he stopped to see the vehicle. "Oh, I'm not letting you knock my car off, said Mr. Bean, and he hoped to make it to the museum in peace away, although he still wanted to stick to his car. The museum was just over a few hills, which the drive went well, but he noticed the director was waving at him. "Why is she waving at me?" Mr. Bean asked himself. "The television stars are not there. Surely not." He was in thought of what could be the case that was happening. Suddenly, his eye caught sight of what was coming behind him. He was shocked to see the reliant vehicle was on his tail again. "I don't see why he's stalking me to the water, but what's he doing coming with me?" When he arrived at the museum, he met the museum director walking up to him. "I'm glad you came up. My men is red, white and blue are on holiday in Tasmania, so we haven't got any cars in display," said she. "Could you park in the museum so we could find another vehicle to take place?" "All right. And what about that car behind me?" "The reliant vehicle? Oh, that should be part of the museum too," said the director. The van swooped into sight. Mr. Bean walked up to it and called to the driver. "So, you're the man who keeps knocking me car off the roof," said the mischief driver. "I'm all bit spoiled. Have you learnt your lesson?" Mr. Bean, not pleased with seeing the car part of the moonshine, thought he'd better not mention the incident. "Hooper," he asked. "I'm Mr. Bean, and I could often drive your car, nor ride in it when I play cool. I suppose you'll be part of the public display. I'll bet it's not built for racing," said he. So he had the car in the museum. Mr. Bean still suspected Oakwood was still wanting to keep knocking him off the road. One afternoon, Mr. Bean was looking at the floor at something. He picked it up to read it. "It seems to be a piece of paper," he thought. "Why, it's a note from the millers." He looked toward the blind vehicle van beside him. He decided to try rolling it, and opened it after he read the note outside the museum. He was at lunch, so when a new vehicle came to take his car's place, he took out to read his note. Mr. Bean doesn't often find peculiar things apart from Obit's car, but this one was getting him excited. It said, "Would you care to join us in a miller rally, Mr. Bean? It's held in the tapyard. First, you need to find a route to Beckton. When you arrive in Market, you'll find us waiting at the gate." "Well, it looks like I'll be cruising on holiday after all. Let's see if Mr. Spark can follow me to try and get me off the road." With that, he trooped away from the museum, heading to Beckton Harbour. "Bet you can't catch me," he called to his stalker. "Bet I can," shouted Obit when he noticed Mr. Bean's car was off again. So he started up his three-wheeled van and started chasing Mr. Bean to Beckton. Mr. Bean was well ahead of the blind vehicle, and he followed the route, finding first of all Spring Hill Farm. He often saw Tractor Tom and Paul, but not in where he lives. He took his miller through a gate across the field, then up a hill towards the trees. Mr. Spaulding came up, noticing Mr. Bean's driving off the route method. "Off-roading, eh? Let's see if I can knock you off in there." But he didn't realize Mr. Bean was giving him a tough chase. They went through the woods, Hooper through bumps. What on earth was this? What? When they came to the other side, they went through the farmyard. Mr. Bean made it through, but Tom stopped the three-wheeled van when it wanted to avoid hitting the trailer. Unfortunately, a pig scampered by, splashing mud at the poor vehicle. Mr. Spaulding waited till he had a clear path to continue on. Mr. Bean, meanwhile, came to Beckton. A shed was part of the wharf, so when no one was looking, he went through the doorway to the back, finding a good place to hide and get away, hopefully to wait when Cooley behind the cage. Mr. Spout came at the same movement. Mr. Bean saw the door was behind the cage with a button to open it. This definitely would teach him to get me off the roof. He pressed the button and the door opened up. The menu and his hoopla trooped through it. Mr. Spout trooped into the shed, hoped to see the flash of light. What on earth is he doing? After the drive-through, he found himself in a wood. Where am I? This is unlike Spring Hill Farm. Hoops, hoops, but the earth's bumpy. More to the point, what about the Reliant vehicle? Can it manage this area? Then he saw the roof at the edge of the wood. Oh good, there's a roof. I'd better get to it and get the second half of the journey completed. Swoop, he swooped out of the wood onto the firm wood. He saw the sign at the end of it and stopped to have a look. Where was he was right. The sign said a location in the continent. Wedge Avenue was what he was looking at, and it meant he was in Tasmania. Time to make the second rule of the journey. Hopefully I can get rid of all this. He also knocked me in the food box, Mr. Bean said. He got back in his car and drove away. But he looked back first in time to see the Reliant vehicle caught up again. Albert was getting quite fed up at this trick of Mr. Bean's slips. Mr. Bean drove off as quick as lightning, and he barely thought it was time to alert the police. But that wasn't good enough for Mr. Spout. He pursued his menu along the road and up another. They went along through Nubeena, ending up in the back room. Mr. Bean's car was good with creeping along the roads, but the Reliant vehicle wasn't, as it was not used to back roads. But he still tried to cruise in on the menu. Then he came to the front room, turning to the right in Tirana. Then went to another top woodland to hide, wait for the van to catch up. He knew the large vehicles were not good for cooping with backways, and the one he left from was shooting his chaser. Whilst waiting, he parked in a clearing to find some sheds, but they were not open. Oh good, I shan't be caught in October, cried Mr. Bean. He had no choice but to continue on. Just then, his chaser, when he got on the front road again, caught up again. He shot off like the last time in Wedge Avenue. Mr. Spout continued to pursue him. Mr. Bean went driving for kilometres away from Tirana, through the trees, up a hill. He went, including another, then past a beach and through a seaside Dunalley, skidding to the left. But his chaser was still on his tail. But he wasn't alone. With the screeching remained, a police car got onto the road and started chasing the three-wheeled van. Again, Mr. Bean's car was good was cooping the roof, but this back lane was sealed, which meant the reliant vehicle was cooping with it too, and he was catching up to him again. Right, that's it. I'll shoot this brick on you at the bridge. That will stop him. He still had a brick in his car he used to help him get change when driving to the dentist. Quickly, he dropped it at the bridge, then sped on towards another hilly woodland and waited. The reliant vehicle was cruising much too fast to stop in time to dodge the brick. It braked hard, skidded, and fell off the roof into the river. Splash! Mr. Spaulding scrambled to dry land. A police car pulled up. What do you think you're doing, mate? Chasing a man in the middle of the night? Mr. Bean informed us when we saw him chased from you. We'll take you to the police station, but leave your car so someone will deal with it. Come quietly. Oh, said the officer. Mr. Spaulding could not believe his chance of driving in peace was ruined again for the second last time. It serves him right, officers. He got my car crashed into a cube, for when I knocked him off the roof. I'll change my reason somehow. Solve this mess, said Mr. B, who drew up. Finally, you've seen sense, you little fiend. You can try getting my car out yourself, grumbled Mr. Spaulding. Be silent, old sir. That's an offence you can't make when caught, said the officer. You best do this job less long, Mr. Bean. You want it back. Oh, no, he won't. Not with this car, said a voice. We'll give it a try, said another and third. It was red, white, and blue, who were wondering what all the fuss was about. Mr. Spaulding was feeling headachy to see 3 more minutes. He pulled the reliant vehicle out of the river and then let Mr. B do the rest, with taking it to the workshop in Sorrel. Thanks, Sophie. I might as well give it to the police station after it's mended. Hope it's caused enough trouble. First, of knocking it off the roof. A first expensive week, it knocking me off the roof, and crashing it up into a cube. Always once again plunged in the water, and 2 from me. Everyone laughed after the mess was cleaned up. Once Mr. B put the 3-wheeled van in the workshop, he thought he'd better change this, with informing the workmen to put up a poster to ask anyone if they wanted it, after letting its driver without letting him lose a last chance of being with it on the road. With that plan sorted, Mr. B continued on. The rest of the journey went all right. No van strike ever hit him. At last he came to market, and he saw the millers at the gate told the tip. He and them attended the rally. Red said, "Cool," and we went driving through the woods and back. This visit for Mr. Bean wasn't spoiled after all. Then he went to find a stone house to stay for the days till he and the millers could go back to England. As for the Reliance vehicle, well, it was driven on the road from Mr. Spong, as usual, after he was released from prison, with a warning that he would never try to knock a miller off the road again. Mr. Bean hoped his act wouldn't come to life. He didn't want to mess with it. Another day later, the Reliance vehicle was moved to a shed in North after it was knocked off the road from the other millers. Mr. Spout was never seen again, as he was to drive a better vehicle for change, and Mr. Bean put up the poster to ask anyone if it was to have a proper life coping with millers. On the day of Mr. Bean's visit to Teller, he met the three-wheeled van again on a hill, but this time an old driver, a man in a black pooper hat, was driving. "I thought I could drive this three-wheeled van to Festive Road 52. You must be Mr. Bean that knocked it off the road the decades." It was, of course, the man we've seen before, Mr. Ben. He answered the poster and bought the Reliance vehicle. "I've changed my ways." "Oh, you've got it. I've read books of you visiting the costume shop, so I can easily give you the chance to drive it. Perhaps you can visit the place together," said Mr. Bean. "We aren't by the number. We need to go to Teller," said Mr. Ben, and we had to laugh. Then we went driving to the George's Railway, and once finished riding his train, we went back to England. Their separate ways.